So, Uzuki released a new game, Eternal Battlegrounds. It was teased around, I don't know, 8 months ago or something. The trailer came out around then. Obviously, I'm not a fan of Battleground games and I never hop on them for more than, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. They're very boring in my opinion. Now, this game, Eternal Battlegrounds, released yesterday or just a few hours ago. And honestly, it is a shambles. The like to dislike ratio is disgusting. And you guys should have seen the YBA chat when the game first came out. And honestly, I don't blame any one of them for doing that. Because the game genuinely sucks, okay? Not the fact that it's a battleground game, but the game in itself just sucks. And we're gonna go into why. And we're gonna go into why this game is such a disappointment. Apparently 5 months ago, because I never keep up with this game, but 5 months ago, there were 4 characters. And now, on release, there are 5. 5 months for one character. Are you serious? 5 whole months. Like, I don't care if you're working on other shit, okay? It's a Battlegrounds game. All you need to do is code the combat, which can't be that hard compared to what you've done before. All you gotta do is code the combat, make a map that doesn't need to change. There's no NPCs, there's nothing, okay? And there's 1v1s. That's literally it. 3 or 4 things that you need to add that aren't that... It might be hard, might not be hard, I don't know. I'm not a developer. But they don't look that hard. Please tell me why in the span of 5 months there wasn't any more characters than just one added. Because in 5 months you can do a lot, you know. I've seen other developers make a bunch of characters in just a few months. Those deep woken developers, they make a new mantra like every week, I swear. So I don't even think it's an issue of it being hard to do. It's just classic Uzuki just being lazy. And apparently Makima, the character that is paid access by the way, she was put in the trailer 8 months ago and she's not even finished. She hasn't even got her awakening apparently, which is absolutely crazy. And keep in mind, this game was supposed to release in February this year, apparently. Honestly, his first mistake of this game was just not allowing you to use your own avatar, which is a trend in a lot of these, you know, successful battleground games. A lot of people in battlegrounds games don't even play it for the fighting most of the time. They play it because of the whole roleplay aspect. It's the same reason why Combat Warriors or the strongest battlegrounds were popular. It's literally just a roleplay aspect. Let's talk about the combat now. The parry based combat is usually good when it comes to games. But why does it feel so janky with this game? In Deepwoken, you can sort of tell when you parry something. And there's a little stun between all of you, you know, between both of you, when someone parries you or you parry them. If I parry someone, they're usually stunned for a while. And it's very indicative of that. You can tell when you parry someone. But in this game, I feel like you can't tell. Maybe I'm blind, but, you know, the combat just feels very jank. It feels a lot like Type Soul and its combat, and that says something. Also, another thing that really annoyed me, when you're using Gatling gun on Luffy's character, you can't even turn your character around. What the actual hell? And not to mention, a lot of the moves between characters, like, they're not even the same. Luffy has 3-in-1 moves, different moves, in one move. I don't know how to explain that, but the first move has 3 variations and then he has 3 more on top of that. And don't get me started on the awakening for Tanjiro. It is absolutely busted. And Ichigo has just 2 attacks, literally 2 attacks. You gotta equalize it a little bit, man. And then the people that use Gojo, right? Gojo is so annoying to fight, but I honestly think this is gonna be a whole game where it's not balanced, you know, because Gojo and Makima are the most annoying characters to fight. I feel like it's very unfair to fight them. So the whole balancing aspect, which we already knew Uzu wasn't good at, is just completely out of the window. Now to speak about the actual content in the game. So first off, it's a battleground game, so there's not gonna be a lot of content to work with anyway. But the issue here is that Uzu probably thought or expected to get hundreds of thousands of players on his first day, like Jujutsu Shenanigans or Strongest Battlegrounds got, you know? But what's one thing that they did? They stuck to one specific inspiration point when it came to adding characters. I'm sorry, but there's a reason why these battleground games are doing well. It's because their combat is somewhat good, but they obviously cater to one specific audience, which is usually anime as a whole, but they usually have one specific character set from an anime. But when you start adding different things from different animes, that's when it goes to shit. I mean, look at AUT. And like I said earlier, not being able to use your own avatar is horrible for a Battlegrounds game. I mean, not to diss ABA, I know a lot of people love that game, but I guarantee if it was an actual Battlegrounds game where you could, you know, choose to fight and stand somewhere and just not need to fight, you know, and wear your own avatar and do, you know, get into that whole roleplay aspect, then the game would have way more players. 100%. And then don't get me started on Makima. She was an unfinished early access character. It's the exact same as it was 8 months ago. That's really dumb, and I don't think anyone should be supporting this game. Like I said earlier, Gojo's really unbalanced from what I've gone against. The Infinity is super annoying to fight, and honestly there's a lot of things this game can work on. I know it just came out, but you know, you'd think the developer would have enough experience to, you know, test the game before it comes out, have a testing phase, which I'm most likely sure Uzu doesn't ever do. The closest thing to testing he has is letting YouTubers try his game. And obviously they're gonna glaze the hell out of the game because the game most likely either getting paid to do so, or you know, they want to believe that this game will be good, you know, by the time it comes out. So in conclusion, Uzu, this is probably your worst project on the planet, and like, I've been through all of your YBA updates, and it's clearly some sort of way to cash in on the Battlegrounds trend going on. And what's saddening is that he already had a game that was doing well and could have pushed it higher had he just stuck to the game and like still put effort into it. That's just my opinion though. And I will never understand how someone gets successful as a developer and doesn't understand how they got successful. This might be a little harsh, but you've got to understand, this game is the reason why he was holding back on YBA and why we got such a horrible update recently. So obviously we're expecting some top tier things, you know? But no. Even if the game just came out, it's still a disappointment. There should have been way more characters and more of a polished aspect to the game, considering the amount of time he had. But I guess this is just an Uzuki thing. I think he genuinely sucks at developing, and everything he done before must have just been a genuine fluke. And I'm not saying I could do better, because I'm not a developer, but I can tell when someone's lost or never even had the ability to make a good game. We can only look at the results of what comes from these games, and both of them are on pretty low counts, especially for a game that was hyped up by the developer Uzuki and YouTubers, and a game that was previously a tie-in before on the platform. I genuinely just find it funny that this is what he was working on, bruh.